It's been good. Started off pretty quick. I've been down training in X3 in Fort Myers with Jordan DeWallen, great trainer. Learned a lot from him. Got tremendously better. In late January, go down to Texas for the East-West game. Got to play against a lot of great competition down there. A lot of guys I played this year in the Big Ten, but add in a lot of ACC, SEC competition down there. And what I really thought was awesome about it, I got to play all three interior reps. That game, I started out playing left guard, moved over to right guard, and then at the end of the game, I got about 10 reps at center. So got to showcase a lot of versatility down there. Got to have a nice little meet and greet with all 32 teams. Them get to know a little bit about me, and finish out the time down here and come up here today and make it all worthwhile.
What has this whole process been like for you? I mean, obviously you hear stories about what it's going to be like, and you can ask people. But now that you've gone through it, what's it been like for you?
Yeah, so again, like you said, having known people very recently, coming from Holy Cross and Michigan State, I've gotten to know kind of what this process is going to look like. But you never quite know until you go through it yourself, and it's been challenging. It's a very different game, contrary to where college was. But I feel like Michigan State did a very good job preparing me for that level. Obviously, offenses are very similar. The competition's not too different either. They're going to be guys who are a lot bigger and stronger in a professional level than I've seen maybe in college. But I've gotten able to learn a lot. I've gotten to showcase who I am as a person, not just a player. And it's really been challenging but very rewarding.
Have you gotten to keep up with any of the guys around here? I know it's been a little bit of a busy offseason, but you kept up with them.
Absolutely. I've been talking to Maverick Hansen a good while. He's been working up here in Michigan. Gotten to talk to Tanner a little bit. He was working back in California, and I was just trying to stay in touch with all these guys. Amidst all the craziness that it's been going on for the last 2 months. But it's been great keeping track with these guys and their journeys and seeing them all today and seeing their dreams come true. And they all had a fantastic day today.
You said you've been in Florida working out?
Yeah.
With who? With what organization?
Jordan DeWallen, he's the owner and operator of X3 Performance.
What areas do you think you've gotten better at since then? Is there some brushing up for these type of drills and so forth?
Yeah, a lot of, obviously developing a lot of technique for these drills, but really just building the explosiveness and the strength necessary to perform well in these. And, Jordan did a fantastic job with me, and the numbers really truly showed some of the good work that he does with us today, and I'm very happy with how I did today, and I got to shoot him a text here in a little bit, tell him all about it.
How do you approach the draft as far as your expectations and weight it, just from everybody else?
I've been told to expect anything. I had a teammate go through this last year at Holy Cross, CJ Hansen. He was very similar to me, did the Shrine game as well, and I got to kind of follow him on his journey while I was at Holy Cross last year. And I remember coming to his draft party the day of the draft, and he didn't know what to expect. And he didn't know how the Shrine game was going to go, what positions he'd be expected to play, what his numbers on pro day and combine were going to be, and I've kind of learned to kind of level my expectations to expect everything and anything. And we'll see how this next month and a half goes leading up to it.
When you came to Michigan State, you were hoping to test yourself against the Big Ten schedule.
Mm-hmm.
For this at the end of the tunnel, if I'm not mistaken, right? Are you pretty happy with how everything's come around and
Yeah.
and the way and how you tested yourself through the course of the season and came through it? Okay, did it work out like you were hoping?
Yeah, and even better. I couldn't be happier about the decision I made. It sucked to leave what was my home for 4 years and leave a lot of great guys, but I knew this would be a little bit of a risk that could be either rewarding or very difficult for me to overcome, and I wouldn't have known what I could handle without having made this decision. And learning a new playbook, new position, new competition, everything about it was very new, and I'm very and I knew I could handle it. But day by day, as the summer progressed, season progressed, and I got to learn a lot more about myself and what I can handle and what I can push myself through. And it's been such a rewarding process, and I owe it all to Coach Smith, Coach M, all those guys for bringing me here and giving me a chance to kind of show what I can do. And I think I made the best decision of my life coming here.
What'd you gain from your time with Mahalchik?
I think the big thing was just a different understanding of the game. Football intelligence. Seeing the seeing the game through a different lens than I was at tackle, where I wasn't so concerned with, what our ID points are, what our techniques are, and working under Coach M, who's very detail specific, very fundamental oriented, and having to learn a lot of that his expertise. Coaching in college for a long time, the NFL for a little bit, and kind of what the expectations are throughout this process as well. And I've learned a tremendous amount from him, in terms of how I play as a player and how I think as a player. And he did a fantastic job with me.
Think that room's got a decent future?
Absolutely. I've gotten to meet some of the transfers here last couple days. From what I heard about the guys who are here, they love them. I think they're mixing in great. I hear that there's a lot more better cohesiveness in that room. Everyone having a year under their belt. We're not starting, slowly. What these guys have been telling me is that they've been hitting the ground running, because everyone knows the playbook now. It's not like last year where I come on my visit and they were just learning the simple rules to run inside zone. They got it all down, and there's a great group of intelligent transfers in this class as well. And I have no doubt that come spring they're going to show a lot of what they can do, and they're going to be very good.
Is that something you think about, like, with your mission state? You're the first wave, you're the first sort of go through the new coaching staff. Legacy, I guess you leave behind. Is that sort of influence?
Yeah, I take a lot of pride in being, one of the first graduating seniors under Coach Smith, and hopefully I can be one of many guys that end up in this position and have a chance to hear their name called in April. And I'd be honored if I could be the first, but I know that following after me, there's going to be a ton more who have their names called in April.
Kind of going along those lines, what gives you confidence that the program's going in this sort of, or I guess, from your perspective, that sort of direction? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, having talked with the coaches, even the strength staff here, everyone's at just a different level than this time last year, in terms of emotional maturity, weight room strength, how they are as, with working their techniques and fundamentals as a player. Everyone's a step above of what they were, last year, a tremendous one, in fact. And I think if they're able to continue to build off that, and just remember, like, some of these, growing pains that we went through last year, just keeping that in mind, and just being bought into this process, who I think, like, all of these guys are. Last year I wasn't sure, but this year I know that there's going to be a ton of guys coming out here, in the spring and in the fall with a vengeance, and they're going to, remember some of those, losses last year, and I think it's going to fuel them throughout the entirety of next year.
When you were coming out of Brother Rice, were you thinking NFL or just go to Holy Cross, prove yourself, get a degree, those type of things? What was your mind at that time?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I got a lot of the doubts about my size and how I am as a player gets me a little bit, and I wasn't sure what the journey looked like for me, in terms of being a college player and an NFL player. But coming to Holy Cross, a team that believed in me, gave me the ability to play from day one essentially, and just be able to build my confidence and build me up as a player physically and mentally, really gave me not just the ability but the confidence that I can do this at a higher level, not just in the Big Ten but in the NFL. And I think that's where I gained a lot of my confidence as a player from those coaches at Holy Cross.
And you played well against Boston College, that probably helped, right?
Yeah. Got to play as a tackle that game, against their first round edge rusher, and then transitioning into this year, I got to play a pretty good D-line with one of those D tackles. Was actually my roommate down in Florida, so I got to get a little closer to him and get to learn about him a little more. But yeah, those are some tough losses, but very fun atmospheres to play in.
You must be pretty happy with your measurables on the vert and on the bench. I mean, you think you probably opened some eyes with that?
Yeah, that's what today was all about, and obviously I was well aware about what my testing numbers would be kind of going into it. I would have liked to get maybe a nice clean 30 on bench, but I'm very happy with how everything turned out. And again, I owe it all to Jordan Wallen and his staff at X3. They got me ready for this, and they always say preparation meets opportunity, and today was a tremendous opportunity to show what I can do, show how I am as a player, and I think I did just that.
I think those numbers stack up pretty well against the NFL Combine numbers.
I think so. Yeah.
Your position.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with kind of like what the numbers were from the Combine. I didn't watch a whole lot of it. Part of me expected to be there, so watching it just didn't quite sit well with me. I was on the consideration list for a while. Unfortunately, I didn't get the invite, but I took that as an opportunity to have more time, get ready for today, and I'm sure glad that that's how it all worked out, because I think today was a very good day.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.